Welcome to London City Girl. Today we're going to count down the top 10 movies made on a shoestring budget. At number 10 is Napoleon Dynamite. Napoleon Dynamite was written and directed by husband and wife team Jared and Jerusha Hess. The film starred their friend John Heder, who they initially paid just $1,000 for his portrayal of the lead character, but after the phenomenal success of the movie, his pay was revised accordingly. The story about a super nerd, his friends and his life in Midwest America debuted at Sundance and audiences responded to the comedy. It was picked up by big-name distributors and quickly built up a cult following. Made on a budget of just $400,000, the film brought in over $46 million at the box office. At number 9 is Tarnation. Tarnation has the smallest budget on our list, being made on just $218. However, it should be mentioned that after the film was picked up by a distributor, the quality of the footage was improved in post-production and the music rights cleared, making the real cost closer to $460,000. The film is an autobiographical account of the filmmaker Jonathan Coet's life and his relationship with his mentally ill mother. Coet constructed the film on iMovie out of family videos, photographs, and old answering machine messages. The film caught the attention of some well-known supporters, among them director Gus Van Sant, the man behind Good Will Hunting and Milk. Tarnation was shown at both Sundance and then Cannes, where it gained a worldwide distribution deal. The film then went on to earn over $1 million at the box office. At number 8 is Once. Once is a 2007 Irish musical film made on a budget of $160,000. A love story between two struggling musicians, the film's original soundtrack was actually composed by the two stars of the film, Glenn Hansard and Markita Aglova, who briefly became a couple in real life. The film originally languished in development with the Irish Film Board for years, finally given financing by a lower-level executive. Director John Carney gave his salary to the lead actors and promised everyone a share of the back-end profits if the film was successful. Made with a skeleton crew over just 17 days, the film, once completed, was accepted at both Sundance and Dublin Film Festival, winning audience awards at both. The film then went on to box office success and critical acclaim, making close to $21 million. One of the film's songs, Falling Slowly, even won the Academy Award for Best Original Song. Since then, the film has also spawned a successful Tony-winning stage adaptation. At number 7 is Supersize Me. Supersize Me is an Oscar-nominated documentary by Morgan Spurlock, who filmed himself eating nothing but McDonald's for a period of 30 days. The film made an impact as soon as it premiered at Sundance, garnering positive responses from critics and audiences alike. Spurlock won the Grand Jury Prize for directing, and when the film opened, it made nearly $30 million worldwide. The film was predominantly financed by Spurlock, costing just $65,000 to make. At number 6 is Paranormal Activity. Paranormal Activity follows in the footsteps of Blair Witch Project as the low-budget horror movie made good. The film is the brainchild of former computer programmer Oren Peli, who made the film on a $15,000 budget. Filmed over 7 days and nights in Peli's home, the film follows a couple as they attempt to discover the cause of haunting disturbances at their home by setting up a video camera to capture the activity. Peli spent a year editing the film, which was accepted at the Screamfest festival, where the film impressed, catching the attention of Hollywood execs, and eventually Steven Spielberg's DreamWorks made a deal with Peli. In 2005, Paramount Pictures bought the rights to the film and embarked on a viral marketing campaign which worked. The film was a runaway success, making over $212 million at the box office and spawning a multi-million-dollar franchise. At number 5 is Primer. Primer took 5 weeks to film with a crew of only 5, and director Shane Carruth was actor, writer, producer, editor, composer, and cinematographer. Former engineer Carruth made his science fiction film about time travel on a shoestring budget of only $7,000 and had an incredibly low shooting ratio of 2:1. That is, for every 2 minutes of footage filmed, 1 minute of it made it into the final edit. In 2004, the movie took Sundance by storm. The story revolves around two friends who discover they have made a box that allows them to go back in time. They initially use their machine to make money off the stock market, but soon they begin to go back and change events against their better judgment. The film asks questions about destiny and the ethical implications of time travel, and is famed for its technical dialogue that Carruth refused to simplify for the audience, trusting them to revisit the film again and again to fully decipher what they were seeing. Primer made over $400,000 at the box office and has gained cult status amongst film lovers. At number 4 is Clerks. The story revolves around a quick stop store clerk, Dante, and his friend Randall as they pass the day at the store. The film was shot at the quick stop store where director Kevin Smith actually worked. He was only allowed to film at night, and the steel shutters of the storefront had to remain closed, or the audience would have become aware that the movie was only being shot at night. To get round this problem, Smith introduced a running gag that someone had stuck chewing gum in the padlocks on the shutters, so he was unable to open them in the morning when the store opened, forcing him to put up a sign stating, "I assure you, we are open." The film took 21 days to film, and Smith continued to work in the store as shooting went on. At times, he was only getting an hour's worth of sleep a day, causing him to sometimes fall asleep during filming. The film cost $27,500, and to fund it, Smith sold a large chunk of his beloved comic book collection, as well as maxing out 10 credit cards. The investment paid off when Clerks was picked up by Miramax Films and went on to gross over $3 million. At number 3 is Eraserhead. David Lynch captured imaginations with his debut feature film, Eraserhead. It is the surreal tale of Henry Spencer, who has fathered a deformed child with his mentally fragile girlfriend. The film is an abstract work and a labour of love, taking several years to come to fruition. Considered a masterpiece, the film has been cited by Mel Brooks, George Lucas, Stanley Kubrick and Terrence Malick as one of their favourite films ever made. Eraserhead was made with a $100,000 budget, which Lynch funded mainly from an American Film Institute grant, and some additional financing provided to him by friends. Initially opening to small audiences, the film gained popularity as a midnight movie and went on to become a commercial success, taking over $7 million at the box office. In 2004, Eraserhead was selected for preservation in the National Film Registry by the United States Library of Congress. At number 2 is The Brothers Mccullen. The film tells the story of three brothers and their romantic dilemmas over a 3-month period. Edward Burns wrote the screenplay and then shot the film mostly at his parents' house on the weekends over an 8-month period. The film cost roughly $24,000 to make, and he managed to convince his father to put in a loan of $10,000 in return for an executive producer credit. At the time, Burns was employed as a production assistant on Entertainment Tonight, and after completing a junket interview with Robert Redford, Burns found himself bumping into the Hollywood actor again in an elevator. The ambitious young director grabbed the opportunity and begged Redford to take a look at the film. Redford did, and was a fan. The film played at Sundance, where it went on to win the 1995 Grand Jury Award. It was then picked up by 20th Century Fox and went on to make more than $10 million at the box office, making it one of the most profitable independent films ever made. At number 1 is The Blair Witch Project. The story of the making and marketing of The Blair Witch Project is almost as famous as the movie itself. The film was the brainchild of Daniel Myrick and Eduardo Sanchez. The story revolves around 3 student filmmakers who are exploring the legend of the Blair Witch. The story is retold through the use of the students' recovered footage, and the final result makes for a terrifying watch. The film is now regarded as one of the all-time classic horror movies, sitting alongside the likes of The Exorcist and The Shining. The film took 8 days to shoot, and the dialogue was mainly improvised. The directors used some questionable tactics during filming to elicit the emotional responses they wanted from the cast. The methods include restricting their food and exhausting the actors by walking them long distances during the day. The film cost around $22,000 to make, but the real money came into play during the marketing campaign. Artisan bought the rights to the film and spent $25 million promoting it, and by the time they finished, the film had become a cultural phenomenon. The Blair Witch Project was screened at the 1999 Sundance Film Festival and immediately created a buzz, not least because of the rumor doing the rounds that the footage was real. The film went on to gross $248 million worldwide, becoming the third most successful independent film of all time. These are the iconic films of independent cinema which, despite being made on a shoestring budget, went on to make a big impact at the box office. We hope you enjoyed this video, and remember, for more videos like this, subscribe to London City Girl, and we'll see you next time.